I'm a little nervous about this one because a lot of people have commented saying I should check it out and that it's very good, so I'm now nervous about not liking it. Drew Fortune stopped by to say, all caps, do it now, Mr. Steve, so okay. Mr. Drew, I shall indeed. So this is an EP by Invent Animate called The Sun Sleeps. The middle track is a comma, and then As If It Never Was. It's 10 minutes, 34 seconds. I'm excited and nervous. Let's see what it's like. And go! Ominous. That's an exciting tempo. Straight in. Heavy. The full feast of sound is in there. That's beautiful. Ooh. The jaunty guitar part. Very prominent. The range of that vocal. That's a great melody. They kind of take away some of the bass with the gaps. Very considered drums. Ooh. Little digital sounds. Really interesting placement of those little licks of the guitar. Sometimes on the offbeat, sometimes on the on. What a great screen vocal. Oof. Ending on the offbeat there. A moment of pause. I imagine this is the comma. keyboard. Some bass with it as well. Oof. This reminds me of early Sleep Token, this kind of vibe. It's a bit of a rhythm picking up. There it is. That's a big, glorious sound. Little gap there. Quite a vocal recording, that. Nice production elements on it. Drums as well, it's not just the raw recording, it's been affected. It's epic. That's a choice. That's glorious. Drums are simple, supportive. It's a little bit. Oh, fuck. Jesus Christ. The feels. Whoa, that's a really nice guitar tone. Those chords. They're filthy. Reminds me of old school Architects. Woof. Clean sound. The build? Nice. Gets a big sound. Oh. The way he uses his voice is so brilliant. The choices are fantastic. Hello? Fuck yeah. Oh my god. The choice of the mixing as well, to have it go quieter vocally, the rest of it stays present. Fuck, cool. How fucking heavy can you go, lads? Slow it down. Oh my god. And then these sonic moments as well. Beautiful. Such a satisfying sound. Good lord. That was a journey. Okay. Okay. I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna talk about that. There was a lot. There was a lot in there, but we'll try. Wow. Okay, so drums, masterclass from the man as ever. Some, like, again, the musicianship of this drummer is fantastic. And I understood from someone's comment on a different video I did recently that they were also wrote songs and did some musical bits and pieces beyond drums in other bands. So yeah, clearly there's a global multi-musician head in there, and done a great job of tapering down the drum complexity to support the kind of chorus moments as per ever. But also, as soon as I said it earlier in one of the songs as I was reacting, comes in with some busy drum fill. It was like, oh, it's kind of busy enough, and then he puts in some like triplet bits in there, which is very delicious. But yeah, he's able to play around with being complex, being straightforward, but then also being really considered about the placement of each of the hits to support the kind of genty breakdown moments. Fucking glorious. Really, really phenomenal drums. The guitars were great. I mean, there's some gorgeous tones in there. Again, like I said in the previous reaction video there, they make this whole epic, large, big wall of sound, but it's not overwhelming. They're not doing it with like just tons of layering and you could have fuzziness to it. It's somehow in the chord choices and the way that those harmonize with the vocals are doing and these kind of synthy elements. It makes just huge chords, but then you also have nice layering of kind of lead guitar parts that might make sense over the top of them. There was one moment where I thought the lead guitar part was more prominent than in the mix than I would have expected it. That was a kind of like, I think I called it I was being jaunty. There were some moments where the lick was like on the downbeat and sometimes on the offbeat. It kind of played around a little bit there. So that was an interesting choice in the mix to have that be as prominent as it was. But for the most part, the lead guitar parts kind of sit really nicely within the whole thing there. And there's choices throughout, the actual tones, the effects change throughout that song. There's moments where it's quite clean. It almost sounds like just no amplifier at all. Just you can almost hear the strings being hit by the plectrums. So yeah, guitars were fucking glorious. Really enjoyed them. The vocals in this were, I mean, Jesus Christ. So incredible. I mean, such a variety of scream vocals, which is enjoyable. And then went heavier screams, then somehow heavier gutturals. So it's like, wow, that's pretty fucking heavy. And then he went even lower. And I think maybe they kind of double tracked it at times as well to give it even more power, which is fucking great. But there's something about the way this vocalist hits a note, and usually in the kind of chorus moments, or like a moment like shouting out before a chorus, this sort of emotional delivery where he's hitting a note and he's adding a bit of distortion to his vocal delivery. Not tons, but enough to make it have that sort of emotive power. And they also tend to have it a little lower in the mix, make it sound like he's a bit farther away, so it's like shouting off into the clouds and the thunderstorms around him. Like it's that sort of vibe, and it's fucking delicious. And great melodies to support that. They're not complicated. It's a slow song, tempo-wise for the most part. But just the choice of notes that sit over these big chords of sounds from the guitars and the synth keyboard stuff. It's fucking beautiful. And goddamn, I mean, I can't imagine a better vocalist for the kind of music that this band puts together. It's an absolute joy to listen to. In terms of the other elements, there's all kinds of interesting sort of synthy digital layers in there. It's almost meditative, chimey sort of bits and pieces they have sonically, and also some kind of keyboard melody notes here and there as well. And it adds a great layer, again, I think that supports that kind of big, thoughtful chords of sound that ripples through all of the music that they do. And it's very considered, and it's not overdone. It's not kind of chintzy. It's not token in any way. It makes total sense. It sits well within the whole sonic landscape that they're playing around with. And it's fucking cool. Overall, I mean, that was a lot to take in. You know, the first song was it sounded like it was the whole spectrum of what I've heard from them, but just in one song. Like, you've got some lovely vocal melody singing in kind of chorus, but call chorus bits. But a lot more screaming than I expected, actually. Because I was getting from the comments that the Immolation of Night song was a bit of a departure from them for being like all heavy all the time. But there's a lot of that in this, but it juxtaposed with the kind of vocal cleans, which was glorious. The journey that this thing went on, like, it was kind of chaotic to start with. I was actually feeling that I preferred the more bottled, structured things like Elysium or Without a Whisper. That kind of, it's an understandable arc for the most part. And this one was a longer, winding road of I guess an EP. And it was kind of hard to know, where is this going? But it built to such a crescendo at the end. That last, like, 3 minutes of I guess the As If It Never Was song was so powerful. And I just had to kind of giggle and laugh. It was an unreal crescendo for the whole thing. And it was a powerful, fucking powerful piece of art is what that was. And I really enjoyed it, you know. I tend not to go and listen to a bunch of very kind of progressive rock where I can, because I love simple song structures for the most part. I love catchy choruses. I like fucking Bowling for Soup as well as I like, you know, shit like this. But for something like this, I know going in what it's kind of going to be, and go on the journey and just kind of try and take it in as we go along. And I'm running out of English ability. It's wow. It's wow is what it is. It's like, how do you sum up what that is? It's this whole emotive piece, and it's expertly put together technically. And it's beautiful. It's beyond beautiful. Really, really loved that a whole bunch. Rating-wise, I don't know how I even begin to do this. It's 3 songs. I guess I rate the EP. I mean, it's obviously teetering between delicious and masterpiece. It's certainly fucking delicious. There's no question about that. I enjoyed so much about that. I really loved the As If It Was Never Was. I think that section of it for me was on the kind of masterpiece level. The Sun Sleeps, I didn't know where that was going, but I think because of the payoff at the end and having that little break in the middle, that sort of meditative calm between the 2 storms of the other songs, it's hard not to call that a masterpiece, really. I mean, certainly if you're looking at this genre of music and the kind of bands trying to do things like this, that's fucking, that's probably about as good as you're gonna get it. I would think. I don't really have a way that they could have improved that. So I'm gonna call that a masterpiece. And it did remind me of kind of the architects from the days of like Match Made in Heaven, that sort of like emotive power with syncopation throughout and like heaviness and screams and vocal like clean moments, and it's just like, this is fucking great. This is absolutely gorgeous. You can't fault it. Well bloody done to Invent Animate for that piece of art that I fucking enjoyed, and thanks to all that recommended it. That was definitely worth the time. Fucking, that was damn impressive. If you enjoyed this video, please do boop the like button. It'll help other people on YouTube find and potentially enjoy this video as well. If you want to see more videos like this, then feel free to subscribe, and then you'll see future videos that I make doing reactions here. If you're interested in music beyond the rock genre, do feel free to check out the link in the description. Otherwise, have a wonderful day, and maybe I'll see you in another video.